clock struck midnight, and Halloween's eerie aura shrouded the little town of Blackthorn. It was a night when shadows danced in the moonlight, and the air was thick with the promise of supernatural occurrences. The town's cobbled streets lay silent, except for the faint rustle of fallen leaves carried by the gentle autumn breeze. In the heart of Blackthorn, a small but historically rich place, lived Emily, a journalist known for her skepticism and her knack for debunking myths. She had been sent to cover the annual Halloween festival that the town held, hoping to find a juicy story to boost her career. As she approached the town square, a pumpkin-carved path greeted her, leading her toward the heart of the festival. Dimly lit lanterns swung gently, their flames casting flickering, elongated shadows. The townspeople had gone all out in their costumes. Vampires, witches, and ghouls roamed the streets. Laughter echoed, but Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something ominous lurked beneath the surface of this picturesque Halloween scene. With her recorder in hand and a skeptical grin on her face, she waded through the crowd. The townsfolk greeted her with eerie tales of ghostly apparitions and spooky traditions passed down through generations. But Emily was determined to unearth the truth behind these legends, even if it meant exposing the town's history of superstitions as mere folklore. The clock continued its relentless march toward midnight, marking the zenith of the festival. The local children rushed to the square, eagerly clutching their candy-filled bags, while adults told chilling tales around the bonfire. A withered old man, a self-proclaimed guardian of Blackthorn's secrets, caught Emily's attention. He was a walking relic of the past, and as she approached, he beckoned her closer with gnarled fingers. With a quiver in his voice, he began to tell the most spine-tingling story she had ever heard, the legend of the vengeful spirit that visited the town on Halloween nights. Emily listened intently, her skepticism momentarily waning. The old man's words hung in the air like a ghostly whisper, and Emily couldn't deny the palpable sense of foreboding that settled in her chest. She knew that beneath the mask of quaint Halloween traditions, Blackthorn held dark secrets, and this year she was determined to uncover them. With her notebook filling up and her curiosity piqued, Emily's journey into the heart of darkness began, setting the stage for a Halloween night that would alter her life and the fate of Blackthorn forever. The day after the Halloween festival, Emily delved deeper into the town's history. Her journalistic instincts told her there was more to Blackthorn than met the eye. She began her quest by visiting the town's musty archives, hidden away in the basement of the local library. Flickering fluorescent lights illuminated rows of dusty, leather-bound books. Each held the secrets of past generations, their yellowed pages filled with handwritten accounts of eerie occurrences and long-forgotten rituals. Emily had always been an advocate of rationality, but the stories she uncovered cast a shadow of doubt over her skepticism. These accounts narrated peculiar happenings that coincided with the annual Halloween festival. Unexplained disappearances, untraceable echoes, and sightings of shadowy figures had haunted Blackthorn for centuries. The more she read, the more convinced she became that the festival's traditions ran much deeper than she had initially thought. As evening approached, Emily's research led her to the town's oldest resident, Mrs. Hawthorne, an ancient woman rumored to have witnessed every Halloween for the past century. Emily found her in a quaint cottage nestled on the outskirts of town, with an impressive collection of peculiar artifacts. Mrs. Hawthorne's dimly lit parlor, adorned with withered photographs of Halloween festivities from bygone eras, felt like a portal to a different time. Seated in a creaking wooden chair, Mrs. Hawthorne began recounting her own memories of Halloween nights, stories passed down from her ancestors. These tales painted a vivid picture of unexplainable events and traditions, the same ones Emily had read about in the archives. As Mrs. Hawthorne shared her tales of spectral apparitions, mysterious disappearances, and curses that seemed to have their roots in ancient rituals, Emily's skepticism eroded further. What had started as a simple assignment now consumed her thoughts. She was determined to find the connection between the town's history and the unsettling events that transpired every Halloween. With renewed purpose, Emily vowed to uncover the truth behind Blackthorn's dark secrets, even if it meant facing the supernatural forces that lurked beneath the surface. As the night fell, the town, once again, braced itself for the impending Halloween, a night that held not only festivities, but the unknown mysteries that had endured through the ages. Emily left Mrs. Hawthorne's cottage, her mind abuzz with the stories she had heard. She couldn't shake the feeling that the past was intricately tied to the present, and she needed more answers. Her journalistic curiosity now overshadowed her initial skepticism. On the third day, as Emily walked through the town square, the atmosphere had noticeably changed. The once joyous preparations for Halloween seemed tainted by an underlying tension. The townsfolk moved hurriedly, their eyes darting nervously around, and the usual laughter was replaced by hushed conversations. Emily's determination led her to John, the town's historian. He had been her go-to source for local history, but his recent reluctance to talk about Blackthorn's past intrigued her even more. She managed to persuade him to a cup of coffee, a place where he felt safe to share what he knew. As they sat in a dimly lit cafe, John finally began to reveal the town's best-kept secret. He confessed that Blackthorn had a troubled history, one stained with tales of the supernatural, unexplained phenomena, and an ancient curse associated with the Halloween festival. He spoke of bizarre occurrences, like statues that bled on Halloween night, and disappearances that could never be solved. Intriguingly, John also disclosed the existence of a hidden chamber beneath the town square, a chamber that had been sealed off for centuries. The key to this room, he revealed, was a pendant rumored to possess magical properties, which had been passed down through generations of Halloween celebrants. Those who dared to venture into this underground chamber risked uncovering the darkest mysteries that had plagued Blackthorn for ages. His ominous revelation only fueled Emily's determination. She knew that to uncover the truth, she had to find this chamber, unlock its secrets, and confront the haunting past that had come back to torment the town. As she left the cafe, the air grew heavier with an impending sense of dread, and Emily couldn't help but wonder what lay hidden beneath the town square, and whether her pursuit of the truth was worth the consequences. The next day, Emily's search for the hidden chamber became more urgent. She decided to start by investigating the pendant that John had mentioned. She sought out an elderly woman named Amelia, a respected figure in town and the keeper of the pendant. Amelia lived in a quaint, century-old cottage near the outskirts of Blackthorn. Her porch was adorned with pumpkins and wreaths, the essence of Halloween festivities. She welcomed Emily with a warm smile, but her eyes held a touch of sadness. Sitting at her cozy kitchen table, Emily noticed the pendant, an intricately designed silver amulet. Amelia explained its significance. The pendant, said to be crafted by a legendary sorcerer centuries ago, had been passed down from generation to generation. It was believed to protect the town from the malevolent forces that sought to breach the hidden chamber beneath the town square. Amelia also disclosed that the pendant held a cryptic map etched on its back. Emily examined the map, which detailed the route to the hidden chamber. But it was no ordinary map. It seemed to shift and change, leading only those with pure intentions and a genuine desire for truth. With it, Emily could finally uncover the heart of the town's mysteries. Emily left Amelia's cottage, pendant in hand, her determination stronger than ever. As the sun began to set, she made her way to the town square, clutching the pendant that held the power to reveal the secrets of Blackthorn's past. She knew that what lay ahead was more treacherous and bewildering than anything she had ever imagined. But she was ready to confront the darkness that threatened the town and unravel the enigma of Halloween night. Emily stood in the center of Blackthorn's town square, clutching the cryptic pendant. As the moon's silvery light bathed the square, the map on the pendant seemed to shimmer and shift, revealing a path leading towards a centuries-old oak tree. She knew this was her next destination, the entrance to the hidden chamber. A shiver ran down her spine, for the legends surrounding the chamber were filled with eerie tales of restless spirits and supernatural guardians. With each step she took towards the ancient oak tree, the atmosphere grew heavier, the air laden with anticipation. The tree's gnarled roots were like fingers clawing their way out of the earth. At the base of the tree, Emily discovered an unassuming stone that bore an inscription: "Only those who seek the truth shall enter." Recalling John's words and the stories he had shared with her, Emily pressed the cryptic pendant against the stone. A low, rumbling sound emanated from the earth beneath her, and the ground parted to reveal a concealed passage leading underground. Descending into the chamber, Emily was greeted by a bewildering sight. The walls were adorned with intricate symbols, and a mysterious, ancient altar stood at the room's center. Candles flickered, casting dancing shadows on the walls. But what drew Emily's attention was a peculiar book resting on the altar. As she approached, it became apparent that this tome held the town's darkest secrets. Each page contained the history of Halloween night in Blackthorn, its connection to the supernatural, and the role the townsfolk had played in maintaining the balance between light and darkness. The pages turned as if guided by an unseen hand, revealing an ancient prophecy. A descendant of the town's founders would come forth to decide the fate of Blackthorn. It was a heavy burden to bear, but Emily knew that she had been chosen to uphold the traditions and protect the town from malevolent forces. With newfound knowledge and resolve, Emily left the hidden chamber, intent on restoring Blackthorn's equilibrium and ensuring that Halloween night remained a celebration rather than a curse. But she was also aware that the darkness she had glimpsed was not entirely vanquished, and that her journey was far from over. The town's fate rested on her shoulders, and the enigma of Halloween night continued to unravel before her. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting the town of Blackthorn into a shadowy realm. With Halloween night approaching, Emily knew that the final confrontation with the malevolent force that had threatened her town for generations was imminent. The cryptic pendant had guided her to a desolate clearing in the woods. In the center of this eerie grove stood an ancient, gnarled tree with hollowed eyes, resembling the image she had seen on the pendant. As Emily approached, the wind whispered ancient incantations, and the ground trembled beneath her feet. From the darkness, a figure began to emerge, a shadowy presence with crimson eyes that pierced the night. It was the embodiment of the malevolent force that had plagued Blackthorn for centuries. Emily, undeterred by fear, felt the weight of her destiny settle upon her shoulders. The figure spoke with a voice that resonated with both menace and sorrow. It revealed the true nature of Halloween night in Blackthorn, a night when the town's ancestors had made a fateful pact with darkness, offering a soul every generation to preserve the balance. The time for the ritual was drawing near, and the town's selection had fallen upon Emily. But rather than succumbing to the darkness, Emily realized that she had the power to choose a different path for Blackthorn. With the cryptic pendant as her guide, she invoked an ancient counter-incantation, vowing to end the sinister tradition. The confrontation unfolded in a torrent of mystical energy. The very earth seemed to shake as the ancient oak tree's roots burst forth, wrapping around the malevolent figure. The skies above Blackthorn ignited with the brilliance of the full moon, and the force was vanquished in a blaze of otherworldly light. As the malevolent presence disintegrated, the curse over Blackthorn was lifted. The town's inhabitants, previously resigned to their fate, began to awaken from a long-standing slumber, unaware of the horrors they had endured. Emily's journey had come full circle, and her path had led to this decisive moment. With the darkness defeated, Blackthorn could now embrace Halloween night as a true celebration of life, unity, and the enduring spirit of its people. But as the first rays of dawn painted the sky, Emily understood that the enigma of Halloween night would always be a part of Blackthorn's history. The cycle had been broken, yet the memories of the past would serve as a reminder of the town's resilience and its ability to overcome the most malevolent of forces. As dawn bathed Blackthorn in its soft light, a collective sigh of relief spread through the town. The malevolent force that had haunted their history was finally gone, and Halloween night would never again be a time of dread. The townspeople celebrated their newfound freedom, planning a festival that would honor the memory of those who had suffered and renew the bonds of community. Instead of the oppressive rituals of the past, they chose to embrace a new tradition, one of unity, hope, and remembrance. At the heart of the festival was Emily, the hero who had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. Her name would be forever etched in Blackthorn's history as the one who had broken the cycle and brought about a new era. Children roamed the streets, dressed in colorful costumes, and laughter echoed through the town. The town square was adorned with vibrant decorations, and a grand feast was prepared. It was a day for families to come together, share stories, and remember their ancestors. As night fell on the first Halloween since the malevolent force's defeat, the townspeople gathered at the ancient oak tree, now a symbol of their resilience. Emily stepped forward, holding the cryptic pendant that had guided her journey. With deep reverence, she placed the pendant at the base of the tree, a gesture that signified the end of a dark chapter and the beginning of a brighter future. As the townspeople looked on, the tree seemed to come alive, its leaves rustling with an otherworldly energy. A profound sense of closure filled the air as the townspeople released glowing lanterns into the night sky, each one representing a soul from Blackthorn's past. The lanterns rose, their warm light mingling with the stars above, creating a breathtaking spectacle. Halloween night had been reborn as a celebration of unity, a time to honor the town's history, and a moment to express gratitude for the strength of the human spirit. Blackthorn had transformed from a place of fear to a town of hope. Emily, as the guest of honor, looked out over the joyous crowd, content in the knowledge that her journey had led to the restoration of her beloved hometown. The darkness was defeated, and a new tradition had been born, one that would ensure Halloween night would forever be a time of light, love, and the enduring spirit of Blackthorn. And so, as the lanterns continued to illuminate the night, the town of Blackthorn embraced a future where Halloween night was not marked by shadows, but by the radiant warmth of a community bound together in hope and happiness.